Welcome back, and this is the second installment of me trying to build a 250 quadcopter. I've got no experience with this stuff. As I said before, if you see something I'm doing wrong, hit me with more information so I can do it right or fix it before everything blows up in my face. If you have a question, hit me up. I've watched several of these videos. I'm trying to do it myself. Last time we went ahead and we built the arms, and as we went along I got a little prettier in the arms I was making, but still far from perfection. It'll be good enough though. Like last time, I went ahead and attached 3 arms and already went ahead and soldered them to the power distribution board. If you're not using a power distribution board, you'll be attaching onto another plate that gets replaced by the power distribution board. In order to hold this all together while I do it, what I do is we take 2 of the screws and we attach the arm on. So I'm going to start by attaching this arm just by going cross pattern. And I've gone ahead and laid out everything here that I think I'm going to use in today's build to make it easy for me to access. When we're done, we'll be putting our bottom plate on. In the meantime, I went ahead and soldered on my leads just to make it easier for me. I figure that's a pretty straightforward and easy thing to do, so trying to put a video on it didn't seem necessary. Apologies. So I just put these on finger tight to hold them on, just like I have the other 4. And you notice since last time I went ahead and put some piece of tape on labeling which way they go. This one is counterclockwise, this one is clockwise, this one is clockwise, and this one is counterclockwise. And if I got the numbering right, this will be called motor 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm using an AIS 32 board. I don't know if it makes a difference between any of the other ones, but that seems to be the proper order when they start talking about your servo 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to go ahead and just wrap this around, get this out of the way. And then as you see, my power lead, the positive is going to come from there and into here, and the negative is going to cross over here. I'm going to do it just like I did this one, is I'll bring the positive up and over across, and I'll bring this one over this way and from the outside there. So first things first, I'm going to take my pliers, and I like to leave just a little bit of extra wire for moving around, but not a lot. I'll snip that off. And I'll do the same thing with the negative. Go ahead and just snip that off. And I'll grab these wire strips. Make sure I'm in the right spot. And just strip off a small amount off of both of them. Alright, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and prepare to solder these on. I like to do the power distribution board first. I'm not really sure why there's holes in the middle of this power distribution board. I'm sure there was some intended purpose for it, but I don't know what it is, and I'm not using them for anything that requires a hole. So if I end up covering it up with the solder, I don't really seem to care much. Alright, and again, we're just using some lead core solder. This is the stuff I just got at Home Depot. I didn't want to waste the fine stuff that I bought online, because as I said, I'm living kind of rural, so I'm stuck to what I can get. But this works just fine for this application. So I'll go ahead and get some solder on my wires here, tin them up. maybe. And take a look here. As you can see, again, the first ones I did just like with everything else, a little sloppier, and as I go along, everything looks a little bit neater. That one there, I'm actually very, very happy with the way that looks. Hopefully the connections come out nice once I put them together. I got solder all around the wire, so that should go together pretty well. And so we're going to start with this one here. I'm going to bring it around this way. Sorry for reaching in front of the camera. I'll bring it around this way. And I'm just going to put this on here and let everything get nice and hot and melt together. And hold it a second. And we're good there. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. Bring this one around. Put this on top. Let everything get nice and hot and flow together. And as you can see, that is probably my best soldering job that I did on any of them. So hopefully that works well. There's a lot of different things on this board here. Don't really know what they're for. The Naze board I got looks pretty simple, and it doesn't have ways to connect on. This thing came with some pins that could probably be soldered in there, but as I said, I'm a noob and I don't know what I need and what I'd be doing with these. It looks like there's a way to go ahead and take from your Naze board, bring it down here so it makes the same connections, and then you could just plug these little bad boys in to the board right here. It says 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way around. You see it says S4 here, which I assume is servo 4. I'm not going to bother with that. I'm going to go direct to the Naze board, and the numbering I got from the Naze board was or from some other videos I watched, was that the right rear, or the right, well, let me change it. That would be the left front. The left front is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is left front, left rear, and right rear. Hopefully I'm not messing that up. If I am and someone knows better, hit me up. One thing that's kind of cool with this is, because I went ahead and soldered this on so I could take a look, all my little servos, or the electronic speed controls, make a little noise and light up a little bit when they get turned on. The yellow, you can see through it when they flash a little bit because they're lighter. I don't see it on the black ones. But nothing's shorted out, nothing's catching fire, nothing's getting hot. And this board that I have has some little lights on the front, little red lights on the back, same thing underneath, so that it's easier for, I assume, orientation. But we're going to cover those up in a second anyhow. So I just wanted to plug the battery in and make sure that nothing's going to spark up and catch fire. So either I have no connection or I have the connections correctly. As you see, I went ahead and put this on, and following a couple tips I saw online, I just went ahead and put some heat shrink on there to hold it to the standoff when I put the top on. I didn't bother to shrink it down or anything. So what we're going to do now, we're going to just turn this up, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our body on, and the bottom of our body. So we're going to start by taking this and unscrewing these. And I just had them finger tight on there anyhow. I had mentioned earlier that I like Loctite, but these are nuts that have a little bit of nylon inside of them, so there's really no point in using any Loctite. The nylon will hold, or should hold them just fine for any vibrations we're going to get. So I'm not going to bother with putting any Loctite on these, even though I am a big fan of Loctite, because I don't like stuff to come off unless I take it off. One of my screws came out there, but that's okay. Here we go now. And let's see if we can get those all through there without making too much of a mess. When sometimes these boards, sometimes these screws don't just slide through, you actually have to thread them through. Not a big deal. Guess that means there's a close tolerance, and that should make me happy. So that's what I'm doing here, is I'm just threading them right on through. Just a couple turns, make sure I'm in the right holes. And I can feel it poking out on the back side. Same thing with this one. The screw actually fell out of this one, so I'm going to grab one off of the deck here. Get that pushed in. Hopefully we have a little tension here, just a little bit. Just a little bit will do. Again, if you have a better way to do these, feel free to tell me, tell whoever's watching these. I just wanted to see how easy or how hard it was actually to put one of these things together myself. And it looks like a blast to fly them. So we got them poking through on the back here. I just put them finger tight on the ones that I have already poked through. Hopefully I'm keeping my head out of the shot this time. Oh boy. And pretty soon here, I'm going to have to figure out how to program that Naze controller, the Naze flight controller I have, and expect that to be a little bit of work. Have to go to the computer for that one. And that screw isn't poking through enough, so we'll put a little more turn into it. Push it down in there. And since I'm not soldering, I should have plugged my soldering iron here. Sorry if it shakes a little bit. I got a power distributor, or power, what do you call those? Power plug thing attached to the desk here, to the work table, so that I can plug all my different tools and stuff in. So that's pretty much all we're going to do on that. That's pretty well put together there. I'm going to, of course, tighten everything down and put the additional 4 screws into, or 2 screws into each arm. That's pretty much how it's going to go together. I went ahead and put a couple things on that we'll put on next time. On the top, I went ahead and mounted my radio controller. I just used some double-sided tape. I like to clean up the open gaps where I put stuff so that it doesn't catch a lot of grass and stuff. And I just ran a zip tie across here, ran the antenna. It's got a single antenna. Most of the videos I see, the guys have two antennas up there. It has a single antenna. Couldn't tell you whether it's a good thing, bad, indifferent. But that's a tip to use the heat shrink, and I'll heat shrink that on there. Matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and heat shrink that right now. Heat shrink that thing right on there. Hopefully I'm keeping it in camera. You know, I'm using one of these GoPros, and one of the things about it is it doesn't have a display on it. Or at least the display doesn't stay lit. It's the 4. And the display goes up after a second, so it's kind of hard for me to tell sometimes what I've got in shot and what I don't have in shot. So there we go. We heat shrunk that down there. That's on there nice and firm now. I went ahead and stuck the Velcro, used some double-sided tape to put the strap to hold the battery on there, put some Velcro on the back of the batteries. So when it all goes together, it'll look something like that. And hopefully that all works. So again, tell me what you think, ask questions, tell me what I did wrong, fix me up. Thanks, bye.